Where's the person you love most disappeared without a trace, and the only clue left behind was a letter written in handwriting that wasn't human. The letter arrived without a stamp, slipped under the door sometime in the night. Its paper was yellowed, edges frayed, as though it had waited years to find its way into the right hands. On the front, in handwriting that seemed carved more than written, was a single word. Elias? Elias Turner froze when he saw it. His name hadn't been spoken in this house for weeks, not since his wife vanished without explanation. He had searched the forest, the rivers, and even the neighboring towns, always returning empty-handed. Now, the letter rested on his kitchen table like an accusation, daring him to open it. He unfolded it slowly. Inside were only 7 words, scratched in dark ink. She waits where silence holds its breath. His throat tightened. He had read hundreds of letters in his life, but never one that felt like a command. Elias wasn't a man given to superstition, a carpenter by trade. His world was measured in angles and wood grain. Yet the moment he read those words, he felt the unmistakable pull of something ancient, as though the letter was less an invitation and more a sentence. The forest began at the edge of his land, where the trees stood shoulder to shoulder like sentries. Everyone in town avoided the deeper parts, whispering stories of paths that changed and voices that called from nowhere. Elias had laughed at those stories once. He wasn't laughing now. He set out before dawn, letter folded in his pocket, lantern in hand. The silence of the forest was strange to complete, as though every creature had fled before him. He thought of the phrase, "Where silence holds its breath." His pulse quickened. After an hour, he found the first sign. A tree, its bark carved with the same strange script as the letter, an arrow pointing deeper in. He touched the grooves. The wood was fresh, as though carved that very morning. Who could have left it? And how had they known he would come? The second sign came in the form of sound, a faint knock, steady, like wood on stone. It echoed through the trees, though no one was there. Elias followed, each step slower, his body caught between dread and duty. The third sign stopped him cold. A lantern, his wife's lantern, hanging from a branch. He recognized it instantly. The cracked glass she had sworn to replace, the brass handle worn from her touch. His breath caught. She had been here. She was close. He pressed on, the forest bending inward like a closing fist. At last, he came to a clearing where the ground dipped into a hollow. In the center stood a door, just a door, freestanding, with no walls, no frame, its wood blackened and aged, its knob gleaming like polished bone. Before we go further, if you're drawn into this mystery and love stories with chilling twists, make sure to subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you never miss the next tale. Now, let's open that door. The letter's words return to him. She waits where silence holds its breath. Elias stepped closer, the air colder, heavier. He touched the knob. It turned easily, soundless. Beyond the door was not the forest. Beyond was a corridor, impossibly long, lined with mirrors that reflected not his present self, but versions of him, older, younger, broken, triumphant. Each reflection moved a fraction slower than he did, as if mocking his steps. His lantern flickered. He whispered her name, Clara, and the sound was swallowed whole. Silence here was not absence of noise. It was presence, thick and watchful, as if silence itself were alive. Halfway down the corridor, one mirror cracked. Elias froze. The reflection inside did not. It smiled, lifting its hand in a mocking wave before pressing its palm against the glass. When it lowered its hand, words had appeared in frost. "Keep walking," he obeyed. His chest ached from the silence, his thoughts louder than his heartbeat. At the end of the corridor, he found her. Clara stood with her back to him, pale lights crowning her hair. Relief crashed through him. He ran, reached for her shoulder. She turned and he staggered back. Her face was wrong, not monstrous, not broken, just older. Decades older, lines etched deep, eyes hollowed, a life lived without him. "Elias," she whispered, voice like dry leaves. "You came too late." "No," he gasped, clutching her hands. I searched. I never stopped. She pulled away, retreating toward another door behind her. They warned me. Time doesn't move the same here. I waited, but waiting cost me years. You should not have come. His heart thundered. Then, let's leave, now. Together, she shook her head. The moment you step through, you chose. This place doesn't release what it claims. The mirrors around them began to shatter one by one, reflections twisting, laughing silently. The corridor trembled. Elias reached for her again, desperate, and his hand passed through her like smoke. The lantern guttered out. Darkness consumed the space, and then silence. Absolute. When Elias opened his eyes, he was back in his kitchen. The letter lay on the table, but now the words had changed. In his own handwriting, it read, I wait where silence holds its breath. His hands shook. He looked toward the window, half expecting to see the forest pressing close, but outside was only the stillness of dawn. Yet something was wrong. The tools on his workbench were rusted. The flowers Clara had planted were withered to dust. A newspaper on the counter bore a date 30 years ahead of the one he remembered. Elias staggered back, heart clawing his chest. He rushed to the mirror in the hallway, dreading what he'd see. The face that stared back was not the man who had left hours ago. It was the reflection he had seen in the corridor older, worn, hollower. Time had not paused for him. It had consumed him whole. He dropped to his knees, the letter falling from his hand. Outside, the wind stirred for the first time, carrying with it a faint, familiar knockwood on stone. Steady, patient. It echoed through the walls of his house as if reminding him that silence never forgets. And in that moment, Elias understood. He had not found Clara. He had replaced her. The house was no longer empty. It was waiting.